Hello everyone, my name is AndrewAJT and welcome back to part 7 of Trailblazer. Today we have a very exciting episode. I'm going to attempt the Fight Caves with melee. By the start of the attempt, which you'll see, I will be 70 attack, 70 defense, and 74 strength, and just 46 prayer, which is quite low level for melee, and I don't even have that much experience doing the Fight Caves with melee. I did it for fun a few times when I went for the Jad pet, and I have done the Inferno, so I am familiar with the Tazar monsters, but it's still going to be quite difficult and also quite a big risk as well, which I'll get into in a bit. So there's 43 prayer, which is of course essential. So I was doing a lot of things, especially after I get the Jad task very shortly, to prepare for Jad to make it a little bit easier, although this beginner clue wasn't going to help. You saw at the start of the video that I was cooking lobsters. I fished about 800 almost to get my fishing level up, so I would be able to fish sharks later on. The 43 prayer was also really necessary for this task because otherwise I would have just taken so much damage, and this Slayer task was very productive because of all the gear upgrades I was able to obtain, starting with the Rune Medhelm, which isn't great, but it's a little bit better than the Addy Full Helm. Also lots of levels. Here is 70 attack, which is going to be critical for the accuracy, although later on I'll show how it was still pretty brutal to do this with 70 attack because of the lack of any Dragon Defender. So here's a Rune Chain Body as well. That will be a really nice upgrade over the Mithril Plate Body when I need defense. So it is worth looking ahead to keep in mind that the Skilling Prodigy plus 12 boost to everything does actually apply to Slayer as well. So I should be able to fight Abyssal Demons and Spiritual Mages a bit early, even though I won't be able to get Abyssal Demons as a task until I have the base level. There's 70 defense, which again is going to be very important for the Fight Caves. We also picked up 70 hit points, which is important because you want to start the waves at high HP. So because of our combat level, we can get the tasks from Steve now, which is actually a task itself. And here is the Jad task, which I did accept after some consideration because again, it is quite early to be attempting this. So I decided I should get some upgrades if I'm going to do this, and one would be the DDS. If you spend a diamond, you can buy one here for just the 30k, which is very powerful in Trailblazer. Because of the fluid strikes, the DDS hits are going to be averaging 1 a tick with the special attack, if my math is correct, so that should be really useful in the Fight Caves. And just to upgrade our defense even further, I'm going to buy some Rune Plate Legs here, which will give us kind of full rune. I mean, we have a different shield, but our shield is better, and we are using the Chain Body and Medhelm, but it's better than nothing, and our range defense and melee defense is quite good, actually. So defense is one thing, but prayer is another, and really the big risk of this attempt is that I'm going to be using so many prayer potions, which are hard to replace. I did complete the Lumbridge Easy Diary for the +1 prayer bonus of the ring. In addition, the 3 prayer levels from the lamp will allow me to recover 18 prayer points per dose of potion, compared to 17 at level 43, which makes a small difference. I was able to make over 13 prayer potions with all my Renars and Snape Grass, and I collected some Eye of Newts here, so I can make super attack potions to speed up the caves a little bit to conserve prayer. So I'd really like to get some more prayer bonus items, and Shade Robes are a good place to start. The full set will give me +9, which is just a bit under the +11 from Monk Robes, which I cannot access in Asgarnia. The Shade Robes are still a nice upgrade over Priest Robes, and I can switch to them when I don't need as much defense. I also decided to complete the Observatory quest. There's actually a small chance that you can get Weapon Poison as a reward, which I did not get. That would have been useful with the DDS, although it would have been just the weakest version. More importantly, while I cannot get the Holy Symbol for +8 prayer, I can make an Unholy Symbol, and now that the quest is complete, this guy can actually bless it for me. And this is a very useful item because it has the +8 prayer of the Holy Symbol, but it also gives +2 to all attack bonuses, including for range and magic, so whenever we need prayer, it's going to be a better option than the Amulet of Accuracy. So here we go, here's my inventory. I brought a normal strength potion and a super attack, the switch for the Shade Robes, some sharks which I fished and cooked, and also 13.5 prayer potions. I also pre-potted before I went into the caves, although that will still drain back over time. So there's lots of problems here. I really need to conserve prayer, but there's also many different things attacking me, and because we are meleeing, the safe spots are not going to be particularly useful. The DDS was very helpful in just taking down the Rangers very quickly, because they don't have a lot of HP, and once there's only one or two things left, I can just prayer flick them effectively to not waste any prayer. I was also using Rapid Heal pretty much in place of food in the beginning because it gives me 8 hit points a minute with the Fluid Strikes boost as well, so that really helps with HP. But the prayer was getting so low later on that I had to stop using it and just wait in between the waves for some HP at the rate of 4 per minute, which was very time consuming. So normally with the 360s, you want to hit them once and then walk away. But with excellent timing, you can actually hit them twice per flinch because of the increased attack speed. And there was really no way for me to practice this because you don't experience this in the normal game. You can't get a faster deskim in the normal game, so I had to learn this on the fly, and I did waste some food doing that. But once I got it down, it was fairly consistent. You have to be tick perfect. You can't attack them after their attack animation has already started. You actually have to get a sense of when the attack animation is about to start and attack them then, and then walk away immediately after the 2 hits. And because of this tight timing, I wasn't able to pray Flick Mage at the same time, which wasted a lot of prayer, although the Shade Robes were very helpful in this regard. This wave went really bad, wave 58. My prayer and food reserves were so low at this point, and I had to use all my remaining sharks to not die on this wave, so that means that the remainder of the fight caves, including Jad, would have to be done with no food. And I had been relying on the Shade Robes more than normal because I didn't want to just run out of prayer before I even got to Jad. This was one mistake. I had to constantly lure the meleeer behind the 360 so I could deal with them one at a time. But as you saw there, I accidentally went into the 360's melee range and took a lot of damage. So the biggest issue was really the accuracy. On the 360's, it took a long time to kill each one of them because my accuracy was so low. And as you're seeing on Jad, it's the same issue but 10 times worse. The deskim is like a wet noodle. It's hitting 0 after 0 after 0. The double attack speed doesn't help that much if you're hitting 0 almost every single time. And I have a limited supply of prayer, and also no food whatsoever, so I really can't afford for anything to go wrong in this fight. I wasn't really used to the whole having to switch back to melee thing after every attack, although I was able to learn it pretty quickly during the fight. So this was strange. Watch this healer. He's following me because I attacked him, and then he just suddenly dips. He goes right back to healing Jad, and because I was so in the moment, I didn't realize this. I wasn't even really aware that this could happen. I think I've seen this happen before, but I don't know why it does. But I just didn't notice it at the time because I was so laser focused on the prayer switches, and I went back to fighting Jad, but I didn't realize that there was still one healer actually healing him, and with the accuracy issues I was having, even with some additional prayers activated, I was not able to out-hit the healer. This went on for a while, and then eventually I missed a flick here, and that was the end, and I didn't actually get the task completed for tanking a Jad hit without prayer, which would have been nice as well. That's a pretty tough defeat, not gonna lie, because look at my prayer potions. They're almost all gone, and replacing them is going to take time. Thankfully, we are almost at the point of unlocking the Wilderness and also the next relic, so there are some incredible things to look forward to in the next episode. The next relic will allow me to train combat much quicker because of the 12x XP rate, and there are some significant gear upgrades we can get from the Wilderness, so the next time we take on Jad, it should be much easier, and I think we will be at a much higher combat level to make the waves and Jad significantly more manageable. So that'll be it for this episode. I did complete the construction mini quest here to get 24 construction and also a lot of tasks done because of the base level tasks. Here's my stats and points at the end of the episode. Like I said, we have a lot to look forward to next week with our new area, so I hope you'll tune in. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button and also consider subscribing as well if you haven't already. I typically upload every Tuesday. You can join my clan chat in game up on screen and also join my Discord server down below. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram down below. And if you would like to support the channel even further, you can check out my Patreon page in the end screen. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next week.